Welcome everybody to our final segment here in Iraq. I am Bob Calvert, your host on TalkingWithHeroes.com and our online news site, thankyoufforyourservice.us. Ron Link, retired Army Ranger behind the camera. And this is our final segment. We will be heading from here shortly over to Afghanistan, so stay tuned for the videos that are coming from there next. And we're here, Camp Victory. We're actually right now getting ready to walk into Saddam Hussein Detention Center. To tell us about this, once again, welcome back with the Army Reserves, Lieutenant Colonel Jerry Brooks. So why don't you share a little bit about what we're going to be seeing now.
All right, what you're going to be seeing is a maximum security detention center that was built inside a bombed out villa. What's interesting is this villa belonged to the Special Security Organization, and the Special Security Organization was headed up by Uday Hussein. So what's interesting is Saddam ended up being held in a prison built inside a villa that his son used to come and reside at.
So we're going to go in now and see the cell he was actually
That's
in.
correct.
Okay,
That's
let's
correct.
go ahead and go inside. And on here on the top, it says Task Force 134 Detained Operations.
Task Force 134 was an organization that was developed and focused exclusively on detaining operations.
Yeah, stay close to the camera.
Now, what they did was they took the villa, this normally would have been an open area, and they converted it to a maximum security prison. You'll notice the thick, reinforced walls.
This is now closed, obviously.
Yes, it was closed in early 2009. The last prisoner, there were only two prisoners here, one of whom was Saddam Hussein, and the other one was Chemical Ali. Saddam was held here until December of 2006, when he was handed over to the Iraqis for the execution of his sentence. And then in 2008, Chemical Ali was also handed back over to the Iraqis. They were the only two detainees that were held in this facility. And the facility closed in 2009. Now, in here, we're going to go first to Saddam's cell.
This is cell number 3D.
Yes. And in here, you've got Saddam's cell. Now, they have removed the toilet and the door so that it can be preserved for historical purposes. Those will end up at the Military Police Museum at Fort Leonard Wood. Inside the cell, you notice the concrete pad. This was his sleeping platform. He was given a mattress and bed linen to lay on this. The reason for the concrete is they did not want him to have anything that he could use as a possible weapon. So what they did was the concrete pad with the mattress over it and his sheets.
This makes our prisons back home look like country clubs, right?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Hanging in here year after year. This is it.
Yes. And Saddam was in the cell by himself, but in the room outside, this is where the guards were.
So they were right outside here.
Yes, the guards were right outside here. And what's interesting about his cell is that it's built completely out of cinder blocks, but it's separated from the wall. So that if there had been an attempt to free Saddam, they would have had to break through not one, but several walls in order to get through it. They would have to break through the outer wall here, and then break through the inner wall in order to get to him. And that was part of the design feature. And one thing you'll notice over here, here's your thermostat. This section of the prison was controlled by central air conditioning. It's one of the few buildings that we have that did have central air conditioning. And if you notice down here, the electrical panels, dual wired for 220 and for 110. Again, this is one of the few buildings you'll see here that is dual wired like this. And in case you're wondering, you couldn't just hop over the ceiling and get to them, because if you notice, they built the cinder block all the way up almost to the ceiling of the original building, so that they couldn't just hop over and come down through the wall in order to break him out.
There's, of course, other cells here too.
Yes, there are 3 cells here, but only 2 prisoners were held here. Now this room here, this was the interrogation room for Saddam. He was interrogated for more than 65 hours during his time here. And every interrogation was filmed. And it was filmed for two reasons. Number one, for the intelligence aspect, anything he might say that could be of use. And two, to show that he was not mistreated during his interrogation. That way they would have proof in case anybody ever questioned the way he was treated.
What's these windows up here?
The windows were for the cameras. There were 3 on this wall, and there was one behind here, and those were the cameras that filmed the interrogation. And there's a room behind the interrogation room where individuals would sit and watch the interrogations, and they would take notes for anything of intelligence value or propaganda value that Saddam might say. Now, down this corridor, you had Saddam's shower. He would be brought in here, he would be allowed to bathe, but again, he would be locked inside.
Can't get any more basic than this, huh?
That's correct. Now, there were 2 prisoners here, but there was a 3rd cell just in case they had to have a temporary location. And you can see here on this cell, this is basically the size lock that would be held here. The doors would be closed, the hasp slipped over, and then these locks would be put in here, as well as locks here. They took no chances with any prisoners trying to escape. And this room over here, this is the back side of the interrogation room. You can see here the 3 panels where they could access the cameras. And again, you can notice up inside there, it's on the 110 power. And of course all the flooring with the 110 and the 220. Now there are 3 buildings in this compound. This is the only one that is, number 1, dual wired for 110 and 220, and it's the only one that has central air conditioning. The other 2 buildings have wall-mounted units. And you can see here that the windows, they blocked them out here to create barriers so that if there was an attack, they would have to get through this wall, then have to get through this wall, and get through several layers of walls in order to get to the prisoners in order to release them. Now this was Chemical Ali cell. If you notice the number here, it's 16D. You couldn't see it because the door had been taken off for historical preservation, but Saddam's cell number was 9D. It was cell block 3, but it was cell number 9D. And Chemical Ali was a little more religious than Saddam, and they used to have to post the prayer schedule on here so he would know when to pray. And here you can see the mock-up of the cell, just as he had it when he left. The combination sink and commode, and then of course the door.
This is basically, other than a mattress and sheets, it's all they have in here.
That's it. This is all they have in here.
You know, if they made prisons like this at home, we probably wouldn't have people coming back.
Exactly. Exactly. And like every prison, you know, it did have a door that, you know, would be closed, and they would open up the small door to hand them their trays of food.
So where are we at here now? We're outside the actual prison now.
We are outside the prison. This is an exercise yard that was built for Saddam Hussein and Chemical Ali. And you can notice over here, the edge of the original building is here. This part here, that went all the way around to that part, this is what we added on to enclose this area, and we added in the door. So his exercise yard, they would be out here about an hour a day. They would not allow the 2 of them out here together. They always kept them separated. but they were allowed to come out here. They could garden, work in the dirt there. And
They would grow food in the dirt?
food, flowers, vegetables, things like
Wow.
that. Because of Saddam's peasant background, he was used to working in the dirt, working with the land.
What's that right there?
This was a bin where they could do washing. But these were available for Saddam if chemical leak, so that they would have something to do. They were both older gentlemen, so you're not going to see them pumping iron or playing basketball. So you're going to have more sedentary activities for them due to their age. And there was a catwalk that went all the way down this wall and across here, and the guards would be out here while they were out here. So they were always under observation.
Because we met some Iraqis in there that were actually going on a tour too, but they're Iraqi Americans.
Yes.
So it was interesting
Yes.
talking with them. So I want to thank you very much,
You're quite
Lieutenant Colonel
Thank you.
Jerry Brooks. Thank you again for your service to our country.
Thank you, my privilege.
And let's keep in touch.
We will. Thank you very much.
Well, folks, this ends our 2011 trip to Iraq. Myself, Bob Calvert, and Ron Link behind the camera. And I want to thank you all for watching all these videos. YouTube, Facebook, help us get these stories out. Just hit that share button under the videos and you can put them on your YouTube page, your Facebook page. We need these videos to go across the country. The troops would like to have their stories heard by America, all across America. So we're looking for you to help. And Facebook.com/Talking with Heroes program is our Facebook like page. Like it. From here, we're heading over to Kuwait. We're going to be going to 2 of the Embry-Riddle teaching centers over there, since Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University is our sponsor. So we're going to be filming inside there, talking with some of the troops that are over there continuing their education while they're deployed, and through Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. It's embryriddle.edu. I want to thank also Mark Leiden with DoThisGetHired.com for introducing us to Embry-Riddle, all of that making this trip possible. And then after Kuwait, we'll be heading back over for the 3rd time to Afghanistan, again reporting the progress and the positive stories. So I am Bob Calvert, your host on TalkingWithHeroes.com, and to all the men and women in the military and the civilians that we've had the privilege to meet here, and all those serving that we didn't meet, thank you for your service to our country. God bless you. God bless America.